Victory, the act of winning, something so fleeting, temporary, and volatile, yet something so powerful. The feeling of being on top, crossing the finish line first, lasts for mere seconds, yet it is something athletes dedicate and chase for their whole lives. I started running in elementary school cross-country club. Running was one of those things as a kid that let me be free. I was naturally good at it. It was something that gave me confidence and helped me discover who I was. I still remember the first race I won. It was a cross-country race in grade 2. I remember hanging around in the pack until I could start to see the finish line, eventually making my move and running away from my competitors. It felt so unstoppable. It was like I was floating. It hurt so bad in the moment, but I had a smile on my face at the same time. For that whole next week, I couldn't stop thinking about it. Looking back, it was only grade 2, and no one really ran back then, so it wasn't that important of a race. But it was the feeling that stuck with me. It's the feeling I'm still chasing to this day. From that point on, I was addicted. As time went on, I drifted from the sport. I started playing hockey, and I didn't really run as much. I'd enter races, but I'd get beat because I wasn't training enough. This came to my turning point. I decided to sign up for the Alberta Summer Games. Little did I know this experience would change where I was going in life. At the Alberta Summer Games, I fell in love with the running community and realized it was something I wanted to be part of for life. I met an overwhelmingly positive, believing, and driven kid named Mats, who saw my passion for the sport and relit that fire in me. After meeting him and seeing his dominance, I wanted to win again. After the Alberta Summer Games, I quit all other sports to pursue running. I was chasing victory again.
She could tell, all club faded off the smell. This the only time I'm holding L's, oh yeah. It ain't hard to tell, oh yeah. I'ma pay the price today so I can pay whatever later.
April 2020. Yeah, that was probably the lowest point in my running career. Yeah, basically COVID hit, and I started training as hard as I could, probably way too much, and I came down with my first injury. I had an Achilles injury on and off for 7 months total, and I don't know, on and off, and there was a period where I couldn't run for 3 months, and I don't know, like, the harsh reality is that's just part of being a runner, though. In that time, I learned a lot about myself. So many times I'd be alone with my thoughts, and I just, sometimes I'd question, am I even a runner? Was I meant to be? Am I even, made for this sport? I kind of learned to let go of things temporarily, so I could come back stronger. So I guess we started coming out here, December 2020. All the gyms shut down, and there was really no place to run when it would get icy in Edmonton. So we started coming out here to the back roads of Leduc, and this road, it kind of became a really special place for me and my friend Mats as well. We found this road really because honestly, my homie Mats, he lives in Leduc, and there's not really many places to run in Leduc. So one day we were like, you know what, screw it, there's probably some dirt roads out there, and we just turned down the closest farm dirt road and did a long run in it one day, and it was probably it was the most beautiful runs I've got done in the Edmonton area, and then we just kind of kept coming out here. And then this was in November 2020, and then December hit, and it got snowy, and that was when like the peak of COVID, and all the gyms shut down. And sadly, at the same time, my treadmill also broke. So, and it would get down to minus 35 sometimes. And yeah, I just started coming out here to the dirt roads just because it was like good footing, and it was all icy and slippery, and the snow wasn't really getting cleared in Edmonton. So yeah, I started coming out here for workouts, and it really became like kind of almost like a spiritual place. And like I just been out here so many times with Mats that like it was really cool. Like every time I'd come out to the road, it felt like I wasn't alone. You know, just because like it just felt like I'd been out here so many times with my homie. You know, like
what kind of conditions did you run in?
Oh, the conditions. We've had some of the best times and some of the worst times out here. I'm gonna say that. Like we've been running in. It's funny. There's this one time we were running, and it was already minus 25, but there was also a wind chill, and we headed out on the run, and we turned around, and that's when we felt the wind, and we had actually draft off of each other because the wind was so bad. Like, so we've been in here at like minus 30 and like plus 30. After that brutal winter on the road, I finally started reaping the rewards of all the training I've done. I qualified to run at the U.S. High School Nationals on Hayward Field. Racing on Hayward had always been a dream of mine. Finally getting the opportunity was something I'll never forget. Stepping on that line at Hayward, that was probably the most calm and happy I'd been on a starting line. I was finally in the races that I wanted to be racing in, competing with the best in the continent. I'm not gonna lie, I'd be lying if I said I wasn't a little bit dissatisfied. I ended up coming top 20. This was definitely progress, but I want a lot more. Obviously, I was happy with the result, but there's still that itch inside of you that wants to do better. I'm not going to stop chasing that feeling of winning anytime soon. I guess the idea of a clothing brand started just from my desire to build a community. Sometimes it gets lonely training for your sport after high school. I mean, once you graduate, everyone kind of just quits. Victory addiction is for those who can't stop chasing that feeling of winning. If I can create something that people feel proud putting on, something that people want to wear out, something that has a deeper meaning than just wearing a shirt, that's my dream. Really, victory addiction is basically just the brand for those who haven't given up on their dreams. When you wear it, you can know, I'm chasing something. I have direction. Victory addiction is chasing that feeling of winning, regardless of the circumstances in front of you. Victory addiction is people who get the job done. It is passion fueled by consistency. It is relentless pursuit. Victory addiction is for the dreamers, for the kids that aren't going to stop until they got what they came for. Victory addiction.